All right, gang, we're going to pop into question period here in a moment and watch Melanie Joly, like when she's finished in the bathroom. Like she first here is going to be in the scrums, just answering questions calmly. Then she's going to hit the bathroom and then hit the House of Commons floor. Watch her freak out. Let's go.
The Prime Minister has been texting Pierre Poilievre. It seems that the relationship is more cordial. Do you expect a reset in the House leading up to CUSMA review?
I think that when we work as One Team Canada, when it comes to defending the interests of auto workers, steel workers, aluminum workers, and forestry workers across the country, we win. We need to be united, and it's important that all opposition parties also be working with the government on this. That was the case during the first Trump administration at the time when we went through a very successful CUSMA review, and we expect no less.
Minister, Quebec's premier has issued a letter along with some other premiers asking for more control over people who are appointed as judge appointments. What do you make of that?
Well, we've always taken into consideration the different proposals by the Quebec government and by provinces, and I think we should be open to it. I think more we're able to showcase collaborative federalism in our country and make it work, more Canadians win across the country from it. Thank you.
All right, guys. So she leaves that scrum, goes to the bathroom. She was calm in that scrum, right? You'll see the big change. Now she's going to deal with Kyle Seeback on the House of Commons floor, and she loses her mind. She was talking nonsense before, but at least it was calm. Watch her lose her mind. Pointing fingers, hands up. She's obnoxious. Let's take a peek.
For Dufferin Caledon.
Let's talk some auto facts. A decade ago, before these Liberals took office, Canadian auto producers produced 2 million vehicles a year. After a decade of their incompetence, that went down to 1.2 million. Now it gets worse, unfortunately, because since this new Prime Minister has taken office, auto exports are down a further 54%. It's a decimation. We've lost the Brampton plant. We've lost Picard. We've lost the Bright Drop facility. We've lost the third shift at Ottawa. And this is all since they announced their so-called new auto policy. When will they realize it's garbage and move to our tariff-free auto pact?
In the interest of fairness, when that word was used before by another member, I expressed disappointment. And so I'll do the same because I want to be consistent. I just don't think that elevates us in the eyes of the public. The Honourable Minister of Industry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let's talk about facts. The proposal by the Conservatives is too little, too late. You know why? They didn't even consult workers when doing it.
That's right.
They actually have no measures for workers and their auto proposals. And actually, Unifor, which represents workers, is against it. Our auto pact, our auto proposal, is actually supported by the Conservative Premier of Ontario.
They said well, not from the top, but I'll give the member a few extra seconds because it was very loud on the left, like it can be very loud at the back on the right. Right? And it's a good way for the chair to learn the names of ridings when members do that, because. Yeah, so we'll give the Honourable Minister a little more time.
So from the top, Mr. Speaker, everyone is in favor of our auto strategy. The Conservative Premier of Ontario, Premier Ford, industry, unions, consumer, everyone. And so why don't they get with the program and get on our side?
The Honourable Member for Dufferin Caledon.
It's actually shocking how uninformed the industry minister is when it comes to the auto strategy. They announced their auto strategy. Auto exports, since they announced it, are down 32%. This is a decimation. The reason this is happening is because there are tariffs on our autos at about 15%. They've been completely incapable of removing the tariffs. They have no plan to remove the tariffs. All they do is talk about something that might happen. We have a plan that's been endorsed by the president of the Oshawa Assembly Plant, and the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association. Why don't they get on board with a tariff-free auto pact?
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
Mr. Speaker, whatever was that? Clearly, Mr. Speaker, what the Conservatives forgot when thinking of our industry in the auto sector is actually 200,000 workers. Why? Because they forgot about auto parts. And Canada has been leading when it comes to auto parts. We have the 3 biggest companies in the world: Linamar, Martinuria, Magna. They forgot to protect the GM engines and transmissions workers in Cambridge. They forgot the Ford engines auto workers in Windsor. They forgot the Honda engine workers in Alliston. They forgot, and I could go on.
The Honourable Member for Oxford.
Mr. Speaker, here's what the president of Unifor Local 222 said, and I quote, "Finally, a plan to protect the livelihoods of thousands of Ontario auto workers." Mr. Speaker, under the Liberal plan, production is down, exports are down, job losses are up. Our Conservative plan would double auto production here in Canada. The Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association supports our plan. The local unions support our plan. The auto worker on the assembly line supports our plan. Will they?
Le ministre de l'Industrie.
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
This government has gone on every line of production in the auto sector, and we have the support of workers. But what is clear, and I know the Brampton facility is really important to my colleague. And you know what Unifor, the head of Unifor Canada, Lana Payne, said? Well, actually, their auto proposal is putting the very Stellantis Brampton plant in jeopardy. And also the GM Ingersoll future in jeopardy. Why are they against the auto workers in Brampton and Ingersoll, Mr. Speaker?
Kyle Seeback there has a silver tongue. Arpin kind of loses it a little bit. Melanie brings it out of people, right? Like it's contagious getting wound up like that. Over to a couple of quick committee clips to illustrate the way that these cabinet ministers scratch each other's back. Oh my God, it's disgusting. Watch Mark Miller cover up for Melanie Joly's incompetence right here.
So as many Canadians are well aware, we're here discussing the Budget Implementation Act. It sounds rather innocuous, but what most Canadians wouldn't be aware of, it's a 600-page omnibus bill. Now, buried on page 300, Part 5, Division 5, Section 208, there's a provision that allows you as minister and other of your ministerial colleagues to exempt any individual, corporation, or organization from being subject to federal laws, with the exception of those that fall under the criminal code. From my understanding, those exemptions don't require parliamentary approval. They can last up to 6 years. And they're being justified using some vague terms like public interest, innovation, and competitiveness. So, Minister, do you believe that your government should be able to selectively suspend laws behind closed doors passed by Parliament?
Of course, this government believes in innovation. We believe in cutting red tape, but we also believe in the importance of parliamentary oversight. Well, that's exactly why you should come up with recommendation, and we'll make sure that we act in good faith and see what can be done to be able to create some important guardrails. I agree.
Why do you need the power to exempt any person or corporation from almost any federal law except for the criminal code to do your job?
Don't necessarily. It's probably a useful tool to have. I think those clauses that do find their way into legislation are often interpreted with a standard of reasonableness. But to be quite clear, we don't necessarily need them, but they're a useful tool to have.
Okay, so you don't need it. Would you be open to removing it then from this bill?
From C-15?
Yep.
No.
Why not?
Well, it's not my job to remove it, but it's a useful tool to have in the context, particularly if we're trying to get things done in a rapid fashion.
Smash the like, hit subscribe, get your Canadian federal politics right here.